everyone. It is my pleasure to present the Oklahoma State University Fall 2024 degree candidates from the College of Professional Studies, the College of Education and Human Sciences, and the Spears School of Business. And now, please stand for the entrance of the platform party and the faculty.
Good afternoon. I'm Casey Schrum, President of Oklahoma State University, and I'd like to welcome you to OSU's 149th undergraduate commencement ceremony. Please join me again in thanking the Oklahoma State University Pipes and Drum Band.
Early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets would gleam, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and over fair, and the home of the brave.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oklahoma, every night my honey lamb and I sit alone and talk and watch a hawk making lazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, yow-yip-I-O-E-A, we're only saying you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma, O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma State.
Please be seated. It's my pleasure to introduce the members of the OSU A&M Board of Regents who are with us today. I'll invite them to stand as I call their names, and we will applaud them as a group. Rick Walker from Lawton, Joe Hall from Elk City, Billy Taylor from Muskogee, Carrie Bates from Nichols Hills, Chris Franklin from Arcadia, and Chief Executive Officer Jason Ramsey from Edmond. Thank you. I would also like to introduce other members of the OSU administration who are here today. I'll invite them to stand as I call their names, and we will applaud them as a group. Chris Francisco, Senior Vice Provost, Kenneth Sewell, Vice President of Research, Amber Manning Collette, Interim Vice President of Student Affairs, Jason Kirksey, Vice President of Access and Community Impact, Craig Freeman, Vice Provost and Dean of the College of Professional Studies, David Carter Spears, Honors Council Representative, John Peterson, Dean of the College of Education and Human Sciences, James Payne, Dean of the Spears School of Business, Sheila Johnson, Dean of Libraries. We would also like to recognize Ann Kane, President of the OSU Alumni Association. Thank you. I now ask Board Vice Chairman Rick Walker to share greetings to our degree candidates, followed by greetings from our Faculty Council Chair, Lisa Slevich, and then our Student Government Association President, Aubrey Ruffin.
President Schrum, Mr. Crutchmer, candidates for degrees, and guests, on behalf of the Board of Regents, we congratulate the OSU class of 2024. We are excited today to celebrate as we recognize your hard work, perseverance, and remarkable achievements that have brought you to this milestone. Graduates, our time at OSU represents some of the best times of our lives for many of us. OSU has been critical in leading to successful careers and lifelong friendships. On On special days like today, we recognize the difference OSU has made in our lives. As you become OSU alumni, we need and ask you to stay connected to the university and be loyal and true to your alma mater. For many, there's a part of us that will always think of this place as home. I hope that will be the case for you. We celebrate you today and congratulate you on this achievement. We know that you wouldn't be here without a lot of hard work and commitment to your education. We join your parents, your family members, and friends with excitement about what the future holds for you. You've overcome a lot of challenges to get here, so celebrate extra today. Recognize the obstacles you have conquered and the possibilities that lie ahead of you. I know you can achieve great things because you've already proven your determination by reaching this milestone, despite all the challenges the world has cast your way. Today is not the end of your journey. It is only the beginning. We hope your future accomplishments are filled with success, but if you hit rough times, learn from those mistakes, pick yourself up, brush off, look to the future with optimism and determination. Never give up. Dream big dreams and go after them. Congratulations to each of you and best wishes for a bright future. We will all be cheering for you. Thank you, and go Pokes.
Good afternoon, and congratulations. Earning a college degree is no small feat. It's a privilege that many dream of, but few achieve. Therefore, remember to pay it forward. Lift others up and ensure that doors that open for you stay open for those who follow. And while your diploma may bear just your name, we know it represents the support of family, friends, and countless others who helped you reach this milestone. Take time today to thank those who believed in you and supported you, particularly your parents, who've spent 4 years pretending they don't miss you terribly. Before you go, we, the faculty, feel compelled to share some general and practical wisdom we wish we had known when we sat where you are. After all, as professors, we profess, so please bear with me. Life rarely goes as planned, and that's actually the best part. You will face moments that test your courage and challenge your convictions. In these moments, let your moral compass be your guide. Ask yourself, is it kind? Is it fair? Does it make the world a better place? Never stop learning, though your bank account and your parents will be relieved to know that we are done charging you for it. Be bold and do not be afraid to get uncomfortable. The greatest growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone and overcome your fears. Remember, success is like parking at OSU. Sometimes you have to circle around a few times, but persistence pays off. And the harder you work, the luckier you'll get. Please be good to yourselves, mentally and physically. Get proper rest and eat real food. Remember how you ignored our advice about all-nighters and junk food? Turns out, I'll sleep when I'm dead isn't actually a sustainable life strategy. Surviving on energy drinks doesn't get more fun in the real world. And while coffee is technically a bean, it's not a substitute for vegetables. Travel and see the world before you have too many responsibilities or excuses. And while you're booking those adventures, get a life insurance policy and start a 401k retirement investment account. Do it immediately after you get your first paycheck. Yes, it's that important. Compound interest works, and your future self will be very grateful when you're getting closer to our age. Speaking of the bright future, while we love seeing you in the bright orange, remember that just rolled out of bed look doesn't quite cut it in the professional world. Invest in a good suit and nice-looking, comfortable shoes, because nothing says I make questionable life choices like limping through your first week of work in painful shoes. Class of 2024, we couldn't be more proud of you. Now go forth, be bold, and show the world what Oklahoma State Cowboys can do. Just do it in comfortable shoes. Congratulations, and go Pokes.
Good afternoon, faculty, graduates, families, and friends. Today is a day of celebration, reflection, and anticipation. It is a time to honor the countless hours of work, the challenges overcome, and the memories you've built here at Oklahoma State University. As you prepare to close this chapter of your lives, I'm reminded of a quote spoken through the timeless character Winnie the Pooh. How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Like many of you, I began my college journey in 2021, nervous and unsure about leaving the comfort of my own home. But for me, there was an added weight to that transition. Just a few months before coming to Oklahoma State, I lost my dad to COVID-19. At his funeral, I stood before family and friends and shared the quote from Winnie the Pooh, and it has stayed with me ever since. The words gave me a way to frame my grief. Losing my dad was the hardest thing I've ever faced, but the depth of that loss came from the incredible love and connection we shared. This quote, though born from a painful moment, holds a universal truth. It reminds us that the hardest goodbyes are a reflection of how much something or someone has meant to us. It's a sentiment that applies to so many parts of life, including the chapter we're closing today. Indeed, our time at OSU is something truly special. From late nights studying in the library to cheering in Boone Pickens Stadium, from deep discussions with our professors to the friendships we've made, these moments have shaped us into who we are today. They've challenged us to grow, to think differently, and to embrace the cowboy spirit of grit and perseverance. Saying goodbye to this place, to the people who have walked beside us, is undeniably hard. But let that difficulty remind us of the extraordinary community we've been so privileged to be a part of. It's a reflection of the deep bonds we've created, the lessons we've learned, and the experiences that will stay with us forever. To the class of 2024, congratulations on this incredible achievement. May you always remember how lucky you are to have had this experience, and may the friendships and memories you've made here inspire you to take on the world. It has been a privilege and honor to serve as a student body president for Oklahoma State University. Representing all of you has been a gift in which I'm forever thankful you have given to me. Congratulations, and as always, go Pokes.
Thank you, Regent Walker, Dr. Slevich, and Aubrey for those words of encouragement. We now move to an important part of our program today, the introduction of our keynote speaker. We're delighted to have Josh Crutchmer with us today. Josh Crutchmer is a native Oklahoman and a 2001 graduate of Oklahoma State University with a Bachelor's of Arts in journalism. He is the planning editor for the New York Times, leading a team that organizes the outlet's worldwide news report into classic print newspaper form. He is also a contributor to Rolling Stone, where he emphasizes in-depth coverage of the red dirt music scene, which originated in Stillwater. Crutchmer has made journalism a career since graduating, working as an art director, designer, and planning editor at 8 major media outlets, and earning international honors for his design and editing work. As an assistant sports editor at the Oklahoman, he directed the presentation of the Cowboys' 2004 run to the Final Four. In 2009, at the Chicago Tribune, he oversaw an award-winning special section showcasing Michael Jordan's induction into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Since joining the New York Times in 2017, he has organized coverage of 2 presidential elections, as well as the 2020 pandemic. As an editor, he is tasked with organizing and designing the front page. During his time at OSU, he was the sports editor of the Daily O-Collegian, notably leading its coverage of the 2001 plane crash. Earlier this year, Crutchmer wrote for Rolling Stone about the 2025 Boys from Oklahoma concerts at Boone Pickens Stadium, breaking the news with the first full band interview with Cross-Canadian Ragweed in more than 15 years. He also covered the Turnpike Troubadours in 2022 comeback for Rolling Stone and has written 3 books about music. His most recent, Red Dirt Unplugged, chronicles the recent surge in popularity of the genre, with a heavy focus on the rise of Stillwater native Wyatt Flores. An Old Mulgee native, Crutchmer currently resides in New York, but between being a football ticket holder and his coverage of Red Dirt, he remains a regular in Stillwater. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce Josh Crutchmer.
A heartfelt congratulations and go Pokes to the 2024 graduates of Oklahoma State University. Mere moments from now, I will share a bond with all of you when this university and this campus becomes our alma mater forever. I will never know an honor in all my life higher than the invitation from Dr. Schrum and this university's leadership to share in your commencement. Make no mistake, this is your day, but it is not lost on me that the privilege of addressing you from this very podium has fallen in the past to our state's leadership, politicians shaping our world, distinguished members of our military, and the actual President of the United States. Yet you are hearing today from someone who may be best known for hanging out in bars. That's because this university takes pride in all of us, and there's no limit to the impact you can make on the world around you when you leave. When you look at the front page of the New York Times, regardless of your views on the media, know that you're looking at my work. The most important single page in this world's media is planned, organized, and designed not by some elite private university alum, but by me, a kid from Mulgee, the son of a diesel mechanic and an elementary teacher, with a journalism degree handed to me on this same stage in 2001. Now, it may be likely that my own journey is one you will not aim to duplicate, but that's true of presidents of the United States too. Plus, it's beside the point. There just may be a thing, if the next 7 minutes go well, too, that I have learned since graduating Oklahoma State that transcends your major, your future career, and the lessons you carry with you. The first of those is that Oklahoma State University is a source of comfort like no other. I learned this firsthand during my senior year. I was the sports editor of the Daily O-Collegian. This was 2001, and we were still a basketball school then. We had just doubled the size of this arena. In that first regular season men's game after we did, one of the Cowboys shattered the backboard in a runaway victory, eliciting a cheer so loud, we all swore it woke up Mr. Iba. We were coming off an Elite 8 run the year before, and as sports editor, covering that basketball team was not just a dream come true, it was the most important journalism job on campus. My colleagues and I took our work seriously, and 2 of my O'Colly classmates, Carrie Aspinwall and Ryan McNeil, would go on to be Pulitzer Prize finalists. We pushed each other, and as such, I was a determined writer and editor, having fun when it was needed, and scrutinizing our program when it was needed. That second part left a few basketball players unhappy with me, to the point they would not speak to me nor participate in stories I was writing. I understood why then, and I understand why now. But that year I got sidetracked. As basketball season ramped up that year, I fell off the deep end into Stillwater's Red Dirt music scene. I started writing about it as much or more than I'd write about sports. If I was writing about a particularly stinging defeat, I'd straight up write, I wish I were at the Wormy Dog Saloon listening to Cross-Canadian Ragweed, not at that game. That's also where I was on one of the darkest nights in our school's history, January 27th, 2001. I learned of and experienced the news of the plane crash that claimed 10 lives, not on campus, but in that bar 2 blocks away with that band. And in that college bar, I watched my classmates and my friends realize what happened. Well, I processed the loss of athletes I covered, like Daniel Lawson and Nate Fleming, who was a family friend. A friend and professional mentor like Will Hancock, who enabled me to cover those athletes and of the sons and brothers and teammates that we lost. The next morning, through my own shock and tears, I hosted an editors meeting at the Ocali. I divided us into teams, and I laid out a plan for splitting up the tasks of writing, editing, and presenting what was for many of us the worst experience of our lives. I wrote a tribute to Fleming, and I covered the memorial service when Hancock's 2-month-old daughter, Andy, was carried into this arena by Will's father, Bill, alongside her mother and Will's widow, Karen, then the OSU soccer coach. Yes, that moment was as painful as I'm making it sound. But what I have carried with me since, and the first lesson I think might resonate with all of you in this room, came the next day on campus. Remember, I said some basketball players had sworn never to speak to me or be a part of Ocali stories. One of those players passed me on the sidewalk. By chance, we were outside Old Central, walking to the student union. And before he said a word, we caught each other's eye and broke down in tears. We embraced one another, and he said to me, "Hey man, thanks for what you're writing. It's helping us all. We're all cowboys here." I know some of you have already experienced that sort of loss in your life, but I hope that most of you have not yet lived enough to feel that. But when that time comes, Oklahoma State University and the bond you have forged here will be waiting for you. It'll pick you up. But a story only ends when you stop writing it. And there's no way I'm going to leave you guys bummed out. There's another lesson that I carry with me. I left here and I became a journalist, first at the Oklahoman in Oklahoma City. My most memorable night, as President Shrum said, was overseeing the design of the sports section when our basketball team made it to the Final Four in 2004. I took my hat off and threw it across the newsroom when the buzzer sounded. I watched the anniversary of January 27th become not a marker of tragedy, but of perseverance and hope. And OSU showed the world the simple power of a simple notion like remember the 10 and remember the 4. On January 27th, 2021, the 20-year anniversary, I had my first ever story with my byline in the New York Times. It was an essay titled "Thinking of You Today." It was about the hope and support and community and the family that I learned to embrace in those 20 years. I wanted the world to know about the good that came from my alma mater's heartache and what I had gone through. And in that time, I wore my pride in OSU on my sleeve at every turn, and I still do. And I left Red Dirt, too, for the most part. I spent 2 decades fighting to try and make it in a shrinking media industry, moving for jobs in places like Phoenix, Omaha, Chicago, Minneapolis, Buffalo, and Cleveland. That was before I made it to the New York Times. When I got there, I finally had the job security and the means to make it back to Red Dirt Music, and I started writing about it again. Only this time around, Rolling Stone took notice. With the blessing of the New York Times in 2021, I got to break the news to the world that the Turnpike Troubadours were going to reunite. They were going to tour and make music again after a 3-year break. That opportunity lifted my profile, and it gave me the chance to tell the world about Red Dirt and its legacy in Stillwater, and that's what I've been doing ever since. In the last 4 years, I've released 3 books about music, 2 of which are about Red Dirt. The most recent one came out last night. And the most important part of that book chronicles the sudden rise and struggles and ultimately the triumphs. The life lessons, to quote one of his lyrics directly, of Stillwater's Wyatt Flores, who represents not just the future of Red Dirt, but a big portion of all of music. He trusted me with his story, and I took great care of it. But there's a tie that binds in there, too, because every book needs an editor. Remember that memorial service I referenced from 2001 and the heartbreaking image seared into my mind of a 2-month-old Andy Hancock? Today, she's a journalist, too, and I'm proud to call her my friend. And that book that I put out last night, she was the editor. That friendship opened my eyes to the idea that I could, through my own work and my journalism, give back to OSU and this community in a way that is really, really unique to me. Beyond the football season tickets, obviously. And here's what finally drove that home. Last summer, I was at a music festival, as I'm wont to do, and I heard from a trustworthy source that Cross-Canadian Ragweed would be reuniting after nearly 15 years of a really harsh breakup. I heard they'd be doing it at Boone Pickens Stadium next April. And I say that's a trustworthy source because the source was Cody Canada, the Ragweed founder and frontman. He told me the concert would benefit OSU. It would benefit their NIL. He told me they planned to put 32,000 tickets on sale. And if that went well, they could expand it to 38,000. That was his dream, he told me. Well, I knew right then I'd be breaking that story, and I knew I wanted as many eyes on it as possible. So I dropped everything. I paused work on the book I just mentioned. I took time off from the Times, and I went out and I found each of the 4 members of Cross-Canadian Ragweed, all of whom bleed orange. They have family who are alumni or students right now, and I asked them all about that concert and what it meant to come home. It was their first interview as a band in more than 15 years. That's just when we stopped counting. We think it's more like 17. I turned it into a Rolling Stone story to break the news of that concert, and it was published at 9 a.m. Within a minute, it was Rolling Stone's top story that day. Within an hour, the entire music world knew not just that there would be a reunion, but how the entire band and how this community felt about it. You likely know the end of the story. When tickets went up for pre-sales, one show became 4. 32,000 tickets became more than 180,000. Now, I didn't cause that, Ragweed did. But what I did was I put Ragweed and Oklahoma State University in the spotlight in the biggest music publication in the world. That kick-started the frenzy that ensued. By doing nothing more than the exact job I set at Oklahoma State and dreamed of doing, I helped turn a feel-good story into one of the biggest in all of music. And now we all get to share in those rewards in so many different ways. Now, you're reading the room, and you're reading me, and you're looking at each other, your parents are looking at each other, and you're wondering if it's getting to be that time. And I'm here to confirm that, yes, it's getting to be that time. We've come to the end of this speech, of this commencement, and of your time as Oklahoma State University students. On the other side of it, you will find that life is going to present you in your own way with the same opportunity I had. Now, a few of you will become mega donors, and we thank you for that in advance. But most of you will find there's another way for you to lift up OSU in the eyes of the world. It may happen through your career. It may happen through someone in your life who you introduced to the world that Oklahoma State made possible. It may happen through just leaving a positive impact and legacy on the world. The second of my life lessons that I would like to turn into a challenge for you is look for that opportunity. And when it arises, please take it. Along with all of the Oklahoma State family, I am proud of all of you in this room. Congratulations. I wish you the best, and go Pokes.
Thank you for those words of wisdom, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We're very proud to recognize the accomplishments of graduating seniors who today are receiving their respective honors college degrees. OSU confers the Honors Hood on these students to recognize their outstanding academic accomplishments. Students receiving honors college degrees are denoted in the program, and I ask that all honors students please stand and be recognized as a group. Thank you. In recognition of outstanding scholastic achievement, it is now our pleasure to recognize the newest members of the OSU chapter of Phi Kappa Phi, who are wearing Phi Kappa Phi cords to denote this distinction. This honorary scholastic fraternity is reserved for those whose academic ranking places them in the upper 10% of the graduates. Will all members of Phi Kappa Phi in the graduating class please stand and be recognized? Congratulations and thank you. At this time, we would like to take a moment to honor all the men and women present who serve or who have served our country in the armed forces. Would all active duty military and all veterans please rise? On behalf of Oklahoma State University, we would like to thank you for your service. Before we present the candidates for degrees, I'd like to ask you to join me in recognizing a very special group of people without whose efforts this graduation would not be possible. Will the faculty representing Oklahoma State University this afternoon please stand and remain standing? I thank each of you for the guidance and the wisdom that you have provided to these students. The degree candidates here today are ready to exponentially increase the scholarship you have shared with them. Please join me in applauding the faculty for their service to OSU and for representing their colleagues at today's ceremonies. We will now begin the recognition of degree candidates by college. As you know, this afternoon we are recognizing candidates from the College of Professional Studies, the College of Education and Human Sciences, and the Spears School of Business. Degree candidates from the College of Professional Studies and the College of Education and Human Sciences, please begin lining up for presentation. I want to advise that we have professional photographers taking pictures of each candidate during the ceremonies. We respectfully remind you not to come on the arena floor. Please remember that the last candidate across the stage is just as important as the first. Students, we ask that once you have completed your graduation walk, you please return to your seat and remain seated until the conclusion of the program. To commemorate your participation in the ceremony today, each of you will receive a pen and a charcoal drawing of the Edmund Lowe Library by Hannah Lane Harris, a sophomore studio art major from Norman, Oklahoma. Each college selected an outstanding representative to lead their college processional and to be on stage with their dean. These students and their respective deans will be introduced as we begin the college's traditional walk. I would now like to introduce the Dean of the College of Professional Studies, Dr. Craig Freeman. The college's gonfalon was carried by Dallas Smith. Dallas is a candidate for a bachelor's degree in public safety.
Dallas Smith. Joel Hendricks. This concludes recognition of the graduates from the College of Professional Studies. Please join me in congratulating them.
I would now like to introduce the Dean of the College of Education and Human Sciences, Dr. John Peterson. He will be congratulating the candidates, assisted by Associate Dean Adrian Sinogo. The college's gonfalon was carried by Elizabeth Alcantar. Elizabeth is a candidate for a bachelor's degree in elementary education.
Elizabeth Alcantar.
Caitlin McKenzie Kirksey.
Cameron Waits.
Maggie Ruth Armstrong.
Jillian Lee McIntyre.
Trinity Grace Castor.
Caitlin Webb.
Lael Renee Russell.
Taylor Grace Green.
Kami Brianne Jackson.
Ashley Cameron Smith Brown.
Lee Kennebrew.
Dawn Lung Singh.
Alex Regal.
Michaela Mary Schneider.
Zoe Perry.
Caitlin Howell.
Johnny Lawrence Norsworthy.
Tyler Queen.
Zachary Allen Arnold.
Isabella Marie Castile.
Ella Ann Klassen.
Colton Malin Douglas Castile.
Grayson Edward Guild.
Colt James Frazier.
Benjamin Edward Eklar IV.
Glenn William Mulready II.
Piper Quinelli.
Abigail Hackney.
Emma Downing.
Piper Marie Aldridge.
Cheyenne Amen.
Carrington Grace Coker.
Katie Smith.
Holden Thomas Martinson.
Harley Nicole Webb.
Samuel William Korn.
Georgia Clarice Ray.
Bailey Stearns.
Kenneth Richard Elliott.
Cale Baker.
Jacob Tyler Thompson.
Lindsey Brown.
Garrett Ashley.
Harmony Ann McSorley.
Dylan Capel.
Reagan Christine Dietrich.
Saul Simon Gibson.
Kaylee Gail Collum.
Caden Diamond.
Christopher Ryan Baines Fulbright.
Aaron J. Horst.
Dylan Hunter.
Francis Rotundi.
Josh Wattenberger.
Franklin Aaron Alvarez de los Santos II.
Reagan Smith.
Carly Thomason.
Stephanie Jennifer Dominguez Gomez.
Connor Jude Keifel.
Emma Michaela Place.
Grace Malia Rowland.
Olivia Grace Hamilton.
James Rodriguez.
Rebecca Rose Gamino.
Jacob Evans.
Sydney Ellen Hurst.
Melissa Bialis.
Hannah Grace Bertram.
Luke Fowler Kirby.
Angelina Marie Johnson.
Caitlin Joe Lester.
Isabella Chloe Eggleston.
Hannah Ruth Breeding.
Ely Christine Johnson.
Emily Anita Elliott.
Valerie Rose Story.
Ann Morales.
Madison Lee Reed.
Gregory Delgado.
Sasha Lynn Barletta.
Shane Davis.
Casey Karcher Neal.
Sydney Hamilton.
Matthew Blake Wynn.
Skylar Renee Hill.
Corey Scott Ray.
Tierra Renee Mason.
Trent Fisher.
Taylor Brianne Hurst.
Summer Judd.
Ashley Marie Lawson.
Baylor Gage Wren.
Michaela Jacqueline Ivies.
Nathaniel Taylor Henry.
Grant Walborn.
Murphy Spencer Roberts.
Whitney Georgia Costello.
Jalen Philip Green.
JC Michelle Nicholas.
Noah Austin DeLeon.
Lauren Page Bingham.
Caden Blake Hoover.
Abigail Kathleen Kirby.
Claire Nicole DePlazes.
Amanda Marie Ellis.
Amanda Nicole Lara Ryan.
Presley Pearson.
Danielle Noss.
Medi Hurdy.
Danielle Class.
Hunter Mahan.
Cade Jones.
Cody Purcell.
Hadley Grace Pierce.
Ben Matthew Rearman.
Macy Renee LaGrange.
Brecken Burkhalter.
Christina Marie Cordell.
Gavin Burkhard.
Raylene Nicole Warren.
Molly Claire Bond.
Madison Whitaker.
Macy Marie Newman.
Emma Mackenzie Barnes.
Dash Michael Alstrom.
Haven Haywood.
John William Hogg.
Rashad Amir Ball.
Micah Campbell Berger.
Brian Keith Edwards.
Derek Carter Denny.
Natalia Isabel Anderson.
Alora Danielle Cannell.
Abigail Ruth Few.
Harper Ryan Cooper Coltrane.
Macy Ann Shook.
Saxon Dane Fryer.
Jacqueline Michelle Maybe.
Trinity Chastain.
Ariel Catherine May Gray.
Kaylee Hunt.
Colby Lawrence Rankin.
Pierce Hassan.
Karsten Nolan.
Alexandria Caroline Kaiser.
Zachary Dylan Stevenson.
Morgan Mackenzie Troy.
Jackson Donovan Newman.
Madison Marie Parsons.
Annabeth Riley Hebert.
Taylor Elizabeth Orr.
Ainsley Grace Scott.
Sarah Mae Roberts.
Sydney Nicole Griggs.
Samantha Miller.
Carson Holder.
Farah Watts.
Sophia Elizabeth Starn.
Anne Sloan Wedge.
Madeline Faith Russell.
Blake Singletary.
TT Wynn.
Clayton Hauser.
Haley Renee Grimmett.
Sarah Grace Clark.
Sina Nicole Stevens.
Nicholas Solomon.
Emmanuel Jesus Kanatabe.
Micah Renee Pennington.
Tramel Taiwan Sanders Jr.
Rachel Cheyenne Weens.
Michaela Joy Cargill.
Alexis Brooke Haleman.
Aiden Rodriguez.
Sydney Mae Allison.
Andrew Shelley.
Harley Diane Powell.
Addison Elizabeth McCaw.
Tori Leanne Wood.
Morgan Elizabeth Peace.
Emma Page Morell.
Radwan Mohammed Bar Adwan.
Jasmine Sherry Mosley.
Rhea Abraham.
Emma Wiggs.
Shelby Robinson.
Connor Leroy Bailey.
Victoria Marquez.
Luke Samuel Ludwig.
Leslie Areola Herrera.
Brandon DeQuan Jones. This concludes recognition of the graduates from the College of Education and Human Sciences. Please join me in congratulating them.
I would now like to introduce Dr. James Payne, Dean of the Spears School of Business. He will be congratulating the degree candidates, assisted by Associate Dean Marlis Mason. The college's gonfalon was carried by Wesley Kennedy. Wesley is a candidate for the bachelor's degree in data analytics and management.
Wesley Kennedy. David Irving.
Kate Iran Contreras.
Emma Grace Carter.
Skylar Jane Suter.
Abigail Renee Jacobs.
Seth Aaron Lindsay.
Lauren Ward.
Luke Anthony Walker.
Riley Ratliff.
Trice Joseph Babb.
Michael Gage Bear.
Jacob Edward Nike.
Aaron Robert Moss.
Darian Marcelos Bennett.
Nick Dixon.
Leanne P.
Zane Landry.
Kyle Ray Westhoff.
Melinda Smith.
Colby Keith Adams.
Catherine Elizabeth Dittmer.
Christian Manuel Rodriguez.
Carter Wagner.
Avery Slick.
Dylan Argo.
Corey Nicole Benjamin.
Patrick Thomas.
Kaira Marie Joseph.
Shanquanisha Wade.
Jonathan Allen Shawyer.
Jake Laxton.
Morgan Elizabeth Thur.
Riley Page Russell.
Jessica Yvonne Spriggs.
Lucretia Charmaine Cottrell.
Abigail N. Hoffman.
Allison Patricia Ray.
Felicia Nicole Liptak.
Megan Elizabeth Queen.
Camden Cleet Pace.
McKinley Spexarth.
Grace Louise Strickland.
James Andrew Neild.
Ethan Wallace.
Tyson Dalton Miller.
Daly Bradley.
Brittany Elizabeth Sherman.
Mark Turner.
Trinity Hope Phillips.
Lori Lee Peterson.
Riley DiMario.
Shelby N. Lawson.
Riley Kaiser.
Olivia Lee Proctor.
Elizabeth Diane McCoy.
Rebecca Lauren Yarbrough.
Emerson Elise Alfred.
Jackson Leon Riddle.
Dylan Scott Filak.
Jacqueline Grace Hong.
Chance Henderson.
Gurick James Griffiths III.
Carson Larkin Stamper.
Jameson Crownover.
Alexa Ray Saget.
Maxwell Andrew Gotcher.
Carmina Flores Cardenas.
Anna Elizabeth Draper.
Gregory Wilcox.
Anne Frances Becker.
Mason Burnett.
Lacey Hickey.
Drew Simmons.
Paul Christian Wright.
Ruben Daniels.
Caden Carl Fiegel.
Noah Jones.
Lacey Elizabeth Greer.
Tristan Zane David Jones.
Cash Allen Edwards.
Luke Shabino.
Kason Aaron Hughes.
Cade Allen Pope.
Berkeley Harrison Hughes Michael.
Noah Thomas May.
Hunter Royce Pulse.
Chloe Camille Oden.
Jared Ryan Quillen.
John Michael Flores.
Randy Walker Lee.
Jonathan Miller.
Evan Daniel Tom.
Cole Hudson.
Melba Catalina Seymour.
Lincoln James Tapp.
Cannon Fouts.
Kenyon Dean Allen.
Taylor Robinson.
Jack Patrick Simmons.
Rowdy Garrett Roan.
Jack Barham.
Casey Curtis Wade.
Gage Alley.
Cameron Michael Wharton.
Clayton Daniel Hatfield.
Michael Cole Land.
David Nathaniel Free.
Ethan Henry Teets.
Ethan Rex Burns.
Ricky Gonzalez Jr.
Sophie Marie Christopher.
Kennedy Alexis Carver.
Ashley Brooke Mullis.
Max Mefford.
Madison Shea Paul.
Avery Bennett.
Dane Andrew Ellett.
Joseph Whiteley.
Grant William Miller.
Sarah Elizabeth Turnbow.
Adam Jack Dutka.
Christopher McGee.
Trey Daniel Bergstrom.
Ashley Green.
Gabriel Elijah White.
Delaney Rose Peterson.
William Harold Williams.
Jamie Burley.
Megan Elizabeth Mraz.
Veronica Gonzalez.
Caitlin Elise Goodall.
Joseph Francis.
Cooper Alexander Roach.
Cameron Trimble.
Tate Victor Maza.
Ethan Lee.
Joshua Seth Tacker.
Travis Alex Charles Munkin.
Mark Andrew Gray.
Joe Carter Barnard.
Dylan James Wimmer.
Jadiah J. Wagner.
Cooper Douglas Donahoe.
Judd Wyatt Earp.
Jackson Amos Burns.
Adam Brand.
Haley Sean Farrell.
Roxanne Danielle Matthews.
Caroline Rose Malgett.
Chandler Matisse.
Jordan Grace Cradle.
Connor Hamilton.
Malat Tashomi Lema.
Patrick S. Wilson.
Tiana Lynn Vaught.
Megan Taylor Walker.
Adriana Mela Treviso.
Elisa Ferrone.
Ainsley Brooke Davis.
Logan Reed Milison.
Matea Emma McClendon.
Jackson Dillingham.
Logan McKelvey.
Joshua Golub.
Samantha Blackwell.
Carson Kaywood Jones.
Cameron Aubrey Murdoch.
Adam Bryce Shuck.
Jonathan Roy Clark.
Molly Beth Coneen.
Alyssa Marie Ward.
Gavin Mason Barley.
Audrey Brianne Brassfield.
Watson Blaze Schiller.
Hayden Timothy Brammer.
Wesley Pryor Hunter.
Cheyenne Sunset Smith.
Tyler Lawson.
Isaac Johnson.
Davina Daniela Vela.
Cole Allen Otis.
Elaine McKenzie.
William Robert Poole IV.
Tyler Jade Wurtenberger.
Michael Glenn Kincaid.
Jake Tompkins.
Alex Samples.
Joel Harrow.
Bennett Riggins.
Alexis Morgan Porter.
Wesley Thorpe Paul.
Morgan Lynn Purdy.
Kiki Kiana Nicole Roberts.
Chase Jackson.
William Gale Tilson.
Jackson Rogers.
Hudson Russell Smith.
Hudson Weaver.
Bridget K. Rady.
Luke Hagan.
Aries Matthew Howard.
Tanner Groover.
Noah Bratton.
Braden Perkins.
Tristan Hunter Jackson.
Robert Paul Billy III.
Raymond Devon Gay II.
Trent Carter Adams.
Lyric Jaiki Rawls.
Holden Cobb.
Ty Williams.
Rosario Resendez.
Peyton Ryan Potter.
Maddie Nicole Hawley.
Wesley Chase Humphrey.
Allison Lee Rook.
Christina Marie Clifton.
Mackenzie Alexandria Park.
Trent Hunter Mastrogiovanni.
Reagan Lee Ashley.
Huang Phi Hum.
Cassidy Paige Riley.
Dat Jinwala.
Emily K. Todd.
Dev Jindwala.
Sydney Brooke Wallace.
Arleth Villasignar.
Renee Aubrey Beach.
Mehdi Yanori.
Aubrey Shepard.
Abby Dawn Dick.
Sydney Bauman.
Faith Beach.
Jin Sang Sung.
Antoni Janelle Butler.
Brendan O'Rourke.
Carter Young.
Reagan Malone.
AJ Green.
Kendall Grayson.
Jensen Laws.
Sonny Simmons.
Lawrence Paul Smith.
Sophia Mars.
Andrew Graham Hathaway.
William Caleb Rainwater.
Samantha Allison Kano.
Tiffany Alicia Casas.
Katie Sparks.
Kate Elizabeth McElwin.
Riley Diane Nix.
Ryan Shea Briggs.
Addison Bailey Mudd.
Iman Oates.
Amanda Reimer.
Ollie Gordon II.
Kinley Bell.
Joy Autumn Sands.
Derek Robert Swymiller.
Ainsley Faith Flemons.
Brody Huxley.
Lainey Catherine Pierman.
Ryan James Peebles.
Nicholas Kodiak Rapp.
Mercedes Brooke Hurst.
Bailey Caroline Bako.
Jacob Cole Wright.
Michelle Solano Sanchez.
Jackson Tomas Kent.
Chantel Ibarra.
Connor Quigley.
Tanya Von Ho.
Gino Antogiovanni.
Catherine Claire Nichols.
Connor Charles Drew.
Alyssa Grace Hill.
William Garrett Haas.
Asia Nicole Brown.
Amari Jadalyn Spriggs.
Gaden Davies.
Mary Catherine Bell.
Edwin Andrus Meneses.
Yang Lore.
Kiernan Rose Lund.
Jacob Abraham Bingham.
Lori Sing Sing.
Ethan Willard.
Abigail McAdams. Brianna Barnes. This concludes recognition of the graduates from the Spear School of Business. Please join me in congratulating them.
Would all degree candidates please rise? On the recommendation of the respective faculties and deans of the colleges, and with the approval of the Board of Regents for Oklahoma State University and the Oklahoma State Regents for Higher Education, it is my distinct privilege as President of Oklahoma State University to confer upon each of you the degree for which you will be recommended, and to invest you with all the rights, honors, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Please change your tassels from right to left. I hope you know how proud we are of you and your accomplishments, and I hope you will remain true to your alma mater, come back to campus when you can, and wear bright orange every chance you get. As new alumni, may the words which you are about to sing take on a very special and lasting meaning for you as we all join in singing the alma mater hymn sung by Jillian Brown. Thank you for coming to OSU's commencement. The student recessional, which will be after the platform party and faculty recess, will lead all degree candidates outside to the south side of the stadium. Family and friends, we encourage you to join your graduates outside and enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go Pokes!